I went to that table now and I said, who are we? Why are we here? Where are we? The long-winded answers that are going to come out of it. It's a fundamental trifecta is what we should know. And that's another beautiful thing. People that are coming to these meetups aren't just open to the fact that the globe is a deception, that outer space is a deception.
An old reel received by mistake. It contains the raw or unedited footage of the crew of Apollo 11, Michael Collins, Edwin Aldrin Jr. and Neil Armstrong, staging part of their mission for nearly an hour in living color, with exceptionally clear behind-the-scenes audio of conversations discussing the techniques used to achieve a disingenuous picture depicting the Earth at a distance, in order to falsely demonstrate their far journey from it and their ability to survive passing through the Van Allen radiation belts. It cannot be misconstrued that this staging was done for some other reason prior to the mission, for the reel itself is slated and dated July 18th, 19th and 20th, 1969, the very days of the mission when they were said to be approaching and achieving lunar orbit. Furthermore, it is apparent they are in genuine zero gravity aboard the actual spacecraft, necessary to convince the mass media of their authenticity, just not any further than Earth orbit, as you will see. The illusion they are attempting to create is the Earth at a distance, to demonstrate their far journey from it, and their ability to survive passing through the Van Allen radiation belts. Understand, too, that only about 20 seconds of this raw footage was ever broadcast to the public, and these conversations discussing their deception were believed to be private. Until now. Though the federal government would have you believe that this is a view of Earth from a distance out of the spacecraft's window as it nears the moon, it is not. What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground, outside of which it is completely filled with the Earth in low orbit. The circumference of the window then appears to be the diameter of the Earth at a distance, with the darkened walls of the spacecraft appearing to be the blackness of space around it. That is why they wanted the interior dark and blocked out the sun from entering through the other windows. Here you can see the extruded window, probably 2 inches thick at the bottom. This is because the Earth's shine is coming in at a downward angle. It also causes the Earth to appear to be an irregularly shaped circle, for you are seeing the outside of the window at the bottom and the inside of the window at the top, which together form 2 different sized halves of a circle. Subsequently, this take was never used. During this segment, intended to be edited and played back later for the worldwide television audience, dated July 18th, 1969, Neil Armstrong condemns himself as he states that he is 130,000 miles out, or halfway to the moon, as the NASA flight log also states on this date, when he is in reality in low Earth orbit of a few hundred miles.
Roger, Houston, Apollo 11. Calling in from about 130,000 miles out.
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded, much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up and you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July, and the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July. And then the 20th, and the same misleading shot on the 20th. Later that evening, they were said to be walking on the moon. How can this be when they were in Earth orbit only 9 hours earlier, and the moon is some 3 days' journey away? Furthermore, if they genuinely went to the moon, why would they be faking any part of it? Why this trickery with the window? By faking being halfway to the moon, it becomes apparent that they did so because they could not even go halfway. It thus confirms that the stumbling block to their success was the lethal radiation of the Van Allen radiation belts. Since the same equipment was used on the subsequent missions in the 40 months that followed, none of them could have gone to the moon. They only increased their proficiency at staging them.
History is a deception. The religion is a deception. These people are like us, have all come to the conclusion of imagine everything is conspiracy.
Imagine.
Yeah, imagine.
Literally turns everything on its head.
You're a prominent YouTuber. You probably look at a lot of content yourself. How many maternal mother women have you come across in, and I'll say the truth movement because this is not a flat earth meetup. I need to just put that. You Red Pill Phil, have not come to a flat earth meetup.
No.
And I want that as a disclaimer.
Do you reckon that's what people will say?
I promise you.
Really?
I promise you.
See, that's the most disingenuous thing, because we've not even spoken about any of
No,
that.
it's because
what Roxanne talks about, or what we talk about in your channel,
I can't get away from it.
Right.
Yeah, on different areas, we'll say that, and that's why I think
What's going to happen, Phil, and I know that you're going to do me proud, guys, because Phil's not a moron. Yeah, he's a proper sound guy, and if you follow him and you're sub to him, then you're proper. I'm not going to insult any of your intelligences here, but if your followers are the people I think they are, they will use their due diligence, and they will research who we are, and they will research the people we've spoken to, and they will come back to you and they'll go, "Oh, you just had a conversation with a couple of flat earthers," and then you're going to realise that you've got a 5k weight on your back now as well, and you're going to have the task of going, do you understand there's a fundamental difference? There is a flat earther, and then there's someone that's denounced what they've been taught. You don't need to be in a new paradigm to get rid of the old one. It's okay to be nowhere. It's okay to not know. I'd rather not know anything than know stuff that's rubbish.
Are you basically saying that the flat earth theory that people are just pumping out there now has almost been done on purpose to mess up the message that there is something wrong with the design?
Now what we've got is we've got
Because we've
channels
seen a
like,
movement as well.
and I'll say this out of respect, I'll just use Globebusters as an example, right? Globebusters and a lot of channels were involved in a documentary called Behind the Curtain. Netflix got a lot of hate, because the people that were making it, obviously, this is just my opinion, okay, take it or leave it. The production team, I think, were personally PISSED, that they couldn't get the Flat Earth Society. And so what they tried to do was they tried to angle that piece of content as if it was a bunch of crazy people who proved it was a ball. And as I said to Bob, no, you didn't prove it was a ball. All you did was implicitly prove, again, like you've done many other times, we don't live on at all. But I've spoken, and you've spoken to a lot of people that don't feel like the flat earth words have been weaponised. And that is the discrepancy we've got into. We've got prominent channels talking about flat earth, and they're quite rightfully allowed to do so. I will say to you, as a globe denier, this realm that we live in is clearly and observably flat of what we can see, our perceived visions. However, looking into the Antarctic Treaty, looking into the Trilateral Commission, and I'm hoping that your viewers don't know this, and I'm going to give them something that they didn't know. Prior to 1910, there was no such thing as a think tank. No such thing.
Right, okay.
1910, the first international think tank was birthed on Manhattan, on Think Tank Row in Manhattan.
And what was the first subject that they felt that they needed to congregate for?
I'll tell you that right now. So
Oh, geez, red pilling.
So in 1909,
Yeah.
two major expeditions happened.
Right,
One to the south and one to the north.
right, okay.
The one to the south was Expedition Nimrod. It's funny they used that
Yeah,
name as well, isn't it?
yeah.
Nimrod. And they went down there, and I'll just do it for you on camera. They went. So cool, we've done it. Brilliant. Same year, they were so gallus. They went, should we do it? Oh, cool, we're here. And there's 4 guys with a white background going, it's freezing, we've done it. Look at it. And 6 months later, they went, not enough people heard that we did that. We kind of need everyone to know, because once we've done that, we've sealed it. International think tanks can perpetuate that. Ministries of Education can now go and put that in a curriculum, and we can get them to regurgitate it. We'll churn them out at 18, fully done.
Narrative building.
Within 12 months, the first think tank being birthed. I'm gonna start talking about something that your viewers are gonna know. Britain got involved, and Britain went, oh, go on, we want some of that stuff, we're down for that. And they went, go on then. And they gave it a nice, beautiful, what the fuck is that? It's not a fucking plane.
A lantern?
Okay, cool, yeah.
I hope it is.
Oh my god! So,
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
London went, we want one of those, man. Give us one of those. And in 1910, they gave it a grade 2 listed building, and they called it Chatham House. Sure, that sounds familiar to
Yes,
you.
it does,
What's
yeah.
that? 1910, they went, yep, we've got ourselves a think tank now, and we're going to start talking about all the things that are current affairs internationally. And we're going to do that to, what should we do that for? Should we do that to kind of perpetuate that stuff? Should we do that? Okay, what is it you got to say? Okay, we're saying the same thing. But then what started happening is they started having meetings, and some real controversial stuff was happening in these meetings. People are saying, look, we're going to have to give people this model because it's all we've got to run with at the moment. We can't tell them we don't know what this is, because that would be stupid, wouldn't it? And obviously they're not going to know about the deception with the, we thought that was an eye, but it wasn't. Thought, that meant on one, and we kind of added 1,000 years, and it's all getting a bit of a hot mess. So we need this shit under control. We don't have the internet, we don't have all of that. We need the international think tanks, but we need a nice little rule. We want everyone to follow this rule, because if you don't, you get shot between the eyes, right? So when we come into this room, you're Janine, you're Phil, you're Roxanne. You're saying kids are getting killed and mutilated in your country. You're saying they're starting to not believe this bull stuff in my country, and I'm saying apparently some genocides happened in both of your countries, and I know the guys that have done it. And the boss man at the table goes, yeah, we're going to need some tanning in here, guys. You can't just leave this room and start talking about it. So they adopted the Chatham House rule, which is what the Bilderbergs still use to this day.
Right, okay. It's pinky in the brain, isn't it? It's that manipulation.
We lost everything in 1909.
Yeah.
I always say, me and Roxanne are thinking.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
I'll take off. What are you doing today? What was it, Pinky? Taking over the world.
But it's true. And I think the research that we've done showed us that human civilization, as we know it, lost everything in 1909.
Yeah.
Prior to 1909.
We've been gamed ever since.